Hey everybody, welcome back to Greybeard Disc Golf. You know, one of the first videos I put on my channel, and one of the videos that's still, I think probably the second or third most popular video that I've done on the channel was my 2024 in the bag video. So I thought it was about time. It was about April. I think it was around that time I did it. So I think it was time to update it. So we're going to do the 2025 in the bag video today. But if you've been watching my videos lately, you probably noticed something a little bit different. And that's this. Well, this is actually a bag that I'm starting to put together for myself. I won, this is an upper part shift bag. I'm not going to talk about this today. I'll do a different video talking about this bag and what my plans are for it. But it suffices to say that I'm setting this up as kind of a casual, maybe local tag bag because of the weight. I think this one weighs in at just, with all the discs in it, weighs in at just over 11 pounds, whereas this thing weighs in at well over 16 pounds. So be nice to have something a little bit easier to carry around. So it's an upper part shift bag. I got this actually as a prize in a draw. So full disclosure, I didn't win this bag. I got this one in a draw from Just Disc. So if you haven't followed Just Disc, head over to his YouTube channel and follow Justin and the stuff that he's doing. He's one of the first YouTubers I ever started following, and he's one of the big reasons why I wanted to get into doing videos like this on the channel. Starting off with putting putters. I really only have one putting putter, and that's the Pure. The big change this year is the fact that I've gone through the Zero Soft, and I was putting with, I think, the retro plastic last year. But it's still a Pure, still my favorite putting putter, but this is just nice and gummy. And I might change this. I might go back to a harder plastic for the summer, but for the winter season and through the spring, this is great. It feels good even when it's a little bit wet as well. So the Pure for putting. And then I also have the another Pure in gold plastic. Kind of go back and forth between this one in gold and then the Trilogy Challenge one from a couple years ago too. That's probably, I think, the medium or the BT medium or hard for throwing. But this may lose its space because what I've started doing here is I've started throwing as a throwing putter. So this is my putting putter. This one's really for throwing for turnover shots and for pretty straight tunnel shots. But what I've started throwing is this brand new Silva Saranen Proton. It's a particle glow soft, Proton soft proxy. And I love this thing. I've got a video that I did recently on this, so I'm going to put the link up there. You can go have a watch of that. Some of these I'm going to reference the videos too, because a lot of the stuff that I threw this year, I loved it. I just put it in the bag. So the Particle Glow Proxy, I love this thing so much. It's just, I mean, what can you say? It's a proxy. You just can't go wrong with it. Then the other throwing putter I've got is a Range. This one is so nice. It doesn't quite go as far as the Proxy, and it's not as understable, but and this is, it definitely goes straight in. Anything between, if I want to go straight up to about 200 feet, this is what I'm reaching for. I love the feel in my hand. My hand naturally wants to go to that kind of modified fan grip for this, and I can get this out on a nice straight line. I just love the feel of this thing, and this Eagle McMahon Elemental Series stamp's pretty wild too. So now that's it for putters, pretty much. I do have one other throwing putter, the Spore. This one is kind of, I don't use this almost at all. This is more of a rescue disc. If I get myself into a tough situation and I need to maybe kind of air bounce something under tree branches or whatever, I'll reach for this thing, particularly if it's a 15 to 20 foot putt and I need to kind of have it kind of float up at the basket. That's what I'll use because it's good for that. 155 grams. I love it. Okay, approach discs. You know, the answer is a zone. It's always going to be a zone. I carry two zones right now. My Precious Child, which is the 2022 Ledgestone zone in the Z-Glow plastic, which is just fantastic. I love this thing. I got 3 aces on this already. I lost this in the river here at Dry Creek for almost a year. It was in the river for almost a year, but then I came out and the river dried up, and it was, and I found it pretty quickly once I could wander around in there. So Z-Glow zone. There's just, what can you say about the zone? It's one of the most popular discs in the world, and there's a good reason for it. You can be top pros. The top pros in the world throw it, and schlubs like me throw it as well. It's one of those things that even amateurs can throw it. So it's just so useful, particularly on forehands. But for those short, super high hyzer bombs, I love it. That one is kind of a backup though, because what I've been throwing a lot for this overstable approach on the forehand and the backhand both is it in Z-Flex. I had a Z-Flex that was given to me by a good buddy, Colton. He's kind of like a disc golf mentor for me. Cole, hope you're watching. But it was green. It was like a clear green, and it was so hard to find. I almost lost it so many times. Like, no, I can't lose that. It's a special disc to me. So I've managed to find one online, a used one in this Z-Flex. So it's already a little bit beat up. Absolutely love it. It's so nice, so nice. All right, moving on to mids. We're gonna go with just the mids right now. Now, if you've watched my stuff before, I can't remember if I talked about it before, but I'm not really trying to bag discs. I'm trying to bag shots. So already we've talked about several shots. The putt is a shot, understable approach with my pure and the proxy. That's another shot. The overstable approach, forehand and backhand with the zone. So those are the shots that I bag, and those just happen to be the discs that are best for those shots. And that's one of the reasons why I'm constantly putting stuff in and out of the bag, as I find stuff that works for me, that feels good. I just want the shot. I'm not too interested in bagging specific discs, with the exception of probably the zone. I don't think I'm ever going to throw anything but the zone in that slot. So let's start at understable and work ourselves toward stable. I'm just going to organize these so that they're kind of like that. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with understable. This is a disc I almost never throw, but I got it in case I need it, and it is super understable for me. It's a paradox. What I've been trying with this lately, though, is forehands around corners and stuff, because I know it's going to hold that Anheuser line really good. So this is in a Neutron plastic. This is a great disc. It's wonderful if you're a newer player as well. It gives you a really good mid-range, a really useful mid-range. Okay, so for understable, but not quite as understable as that, if I want a long turnover shot, for example, Smith Lake Farms hole number 3, if you know, you know, I reach for the Detour with the Gabby Lee bunny stamp. I love this disc so much. I bought this from Gabby at the BC Club Championships at Bowen last year, and I absolutely love it. It went in my bag immediately, and it's stayed there ever since. Again, perfect for long turnovers. It will hold that turnover line all the way. It won't fight out too much, but again, if that's the shot you're looking for, that's the shot you want. I haven't really tried this on a hyzer flip yet. I don't really do mids a lot for that. If I want something that's going to hyzer flip and go straight, I'll just throw something straight, which is what we're getting to pretty quick here. If I want something that is a little bit longer than the Detour, although frankly that Detour has been flying really far for me lately, I'll throw the Core. This is a little bit straighter than the Detour, but not quite as straight as, say, my Buzz or the Hex. So this thing is fantastic. It flies forever. It's got so much more glide than a 5. This could probably be 7 glide like the River is, but I love this disc. Again, Cole turned me on to the Core as a thrower as well, and there's a couple of holes that this thing is just absolutely money for, so I love that. Next, now we're starting to straighten. You can see we're starting to straighten up. If I want something that's super straight and goes, it's the Buzz, and specifically the Buzzsaw Buzz, the fused Buzz. This thing, I threw this on video. I'll put a link to it as well, and you'll see why I love this thing. It just does exactly what I want a Buzz to do. I got a bunch of Buzzes, and they never really flew right for me. I don't know why, but I know it's the same mold. This thing just feels better in the hand, and I feel confident with it. And I know that if I feel confident with the disc, that it's going to perform better for me. Pretty straight. The Hex and the Buzz kind of occupy the same spot. This thing is, it's dead straight. It's in the, I love this Skullboy stamp as well. I kind of really had to look around for one because all the guys in the club throw a Skullboy Hex, and I was like, oh, I got to get one. I had one for a while, and then I gave it to my son, so he's got it down in Arizona. But this thing flies super straight. It's got a little bit more finish at the end than the Buzz, whereas the Buzz, I can put it out straight, and it'll have just a little bit of finish at the end, whereas this Hex, if I put it on a little bit of a hyzer, it'll hold that a little bit further. If I were paring down my bag, I would probably pull the Hex out and leave the Buzz in there, because I could put the Buzz on a bit of a hyzer and still get that same flight out of it. But I got the space, and for a tournament, it's nice to have backups as well. And then for overstable, in the mid-range, I've got the Big Germ Particle Glow Tempo. This thing is just fantastic, and I was throwing a Pyro for quite a while, and I took that out, and I've got this in here. I might put the Pyro back in. That's a slot that I'm kind of bouncing between those two, but again, for my money, these disc Axiom and MVP have the better discs in this slot that work for me. Again, this is what works for me. So when I picked this up, I was pretty happy with it, and I started throwing it immediately. It stayed in the bag. All right, moving on to Fairway Drivers. So we're going to go all the way to that disc. I think that's all the fairways. Yeah, okay. I'm going to organize these from most understable to stable, and I'm going to cause a bit of a a bit of a controversy here, but we're going to see it. Anyways, starting with the River, this beautiful disc that I had. I sent this, actually I bought this in the regular optoplastic with this metallic shimmer to it, and I sent it off to She Dizer Discs, and she did just such an amazing job. I sent her a couple of discs and then bought one off of her site as well, one of her standard discs. So, you know, definitely if you get a chance, go over to She Dizer Discs and see the stuff that she does. It's absolutely incredible, just unreal. And this thing came out so beautiful. I love this thing. But it's a River. It glides for days, and it's nice and understable. Doesn't really want to fight out at the end again, but again, if I'm going a long way around a corner, because I don't always want it to fight out, this will actually flatten out. It won't actually turn into a cut roller, which is kind of nice. A lot of ones that are super understable, they'll turn right over and they'll turn into a cut roller. This one at least will flatten out without trying to fight out too much, so it'll hold that line all the way. For going straight, it's this thing here, the Eagle L, the Sophia Denicky Team Champion Series Eagle L. This thing is just so money, so straight. I can throw it for forever. I throw this thing, it goes straight and lands straight, and the guys on the tee just look at me and go, what did you just do? Like, it's just unreal, this thing. And I love this disc so much. It immediately made my bag. Again, another one I did on video, so you can see that. I'll post links to all the videos of the discs that I did here. So get one, just get one, throw it and try it. It feels so good in the hand. That 7-speed is just amazing. For something a little more overstable in the same 7-speed category, I have the Sagara. And if you watch the video of me throwing the Sagara, you know why this is in my bag and is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you're going to have to put my name on it, because I like to throw this thing quite a bit. Actually, there's a lot of places where I'm finding a use for it. This thing is an overstable 7-speed. It's just spectacular. Just flies exactly like you want it to fly. It's not particularly straight. It'll push out straight, but it hooks up really good at the end when it starts to slow down. I love it. All right, so this is the controversy. I've got a Firebird here. This is an older Nate Sexton Firebird I bought off a buddy. And a lot of people would put this in the distance driver category. I got this in the fairway only because I'm a weakling and this doesn't fly very far for me. This probably doesn't fly. This probably flies about as far as the Sagara. Maybe pushes a little bit further than the Sagara for me. But even though it is a 9-speed disc, I put it in the fairway category because, again, I'm not throwing it super far. I don't want to throw it super far. If I want something that's like a 9-speed zone, this is what I'm going to throw, because this thing is just great, and it's just bored flat. Kyle beat this thing in beautifully for me, and I bought it pretty cheap. So I'm pretty happy to have that in the bag. That is really something else. Okay, so that's it for fairways. Let's move on to distance drivers. And again, you know, as I said before, I'm not too worried about the flight numbers. I'm concerned mostly with what does a disc do for me. So if it's and you'll see that when I talk about the biggest distance driver, because that didn't change this year. But we're going to mix things up a little bit. We're going to start with slightly understable, and we're going to work towards the big bomber. So not always understable to overstable here. So we're going to start with some understable. The Proto Glow Gorgon. I bought this from Ed at Ed's Disc Store. I love this disc so much. You know, if I want a 300-foot turnover that actually will fight out, this is what I'm reaching for. And I find a ton of uses for this thing. You owe it to yourself to try this. One of the newest great discs that came out. And last year was a really good year for kind of those control driver categories where they were understable. Things like this, things like the Trail and other discs that the Racer, things that came up in that category. So the Gorgon, great disc. Not as understable, but with quite a bit more finish, is the Thunderbird. Now, this is a funny one because I really only use this in one shot, and that's when I want to put something up nice and high and have it push, and then crash really hard left. The Thunderbird in the G-Star plastic is perfect for me for that. It does that job exceptionally well. I can push this a lot further than the Firebird, but it'll still finish pretty hard. And then for something that doesn't go, that kind of lands between the Firebird and the G-Star Thunderbird in distance, is a Halo Star Thunderbird. This one here in 166, and you'll see a lot of the distance drivers that I have are going to be in that 165 to 170 gram range. I'm kind of working down into weights. It's just better for me. I think it feels better for me. I don't need to throw max weight. There's no benefit to me throwing max weight. So this one's great. I don't use it a lot, but I've got it there if I need it for certain holes. There's one hole at Smith Lake Farm where you're thrown over the burn pile. Again, if you know, you know. This one is awesome for that as well. All right, next, we're getting into a couple of destroyers. Yes, I throw destroyers. I'm a bit of a noodle arm. I haven't measured my speed in a while. I think I was getting in the mid 50s, getting close to 60 miles an hour. I'm starting to get a little bit stronger. My form is starting to work out, so it is getting a bit better. But I make up for that by using this Pro Destroyer. I probably use this more than any other distance driver, with the exception of the Destiny, because I can shape this. So this is still a destroyer. It's still going to finish super hard, but I can put this out straight and it will actually turn for me quite a bit. And then finish hard. If I put it on an Anheuser up in the air, it's going to push, and it's still going to finish hard for me. There's one hole at Pride Vista I eagled with this thing because I was just able to flex it so hard around the trees. So the Pro Destroyer, if you haven't thrown a Pro Destroyer, you owe it yourself to find one and give it a couple rips, just because it's just so awesome. A little bit more stable than the Pro Destroyer is the Evelina Salonen Signature Edition Swirly Star, the Swirled Star. This one, if I throw it the same as the Destroyer, nice and hard and flat, it won't turn like the Destroyer, but it'll definitely push forward before that nice, reliable Destroyer finish. That's awesome. I love it. It's such a beautiful, this plastic feels so nice. At 164 grams, it's a really, really great weight for me. And this actually does fight the wind really well, whereas the Pro Destroyer, you don't want to throw that in the wind at all. But this thing, I can actually throw this in the wind, and it'll work out really, really well. For super overstable, I've got a Rive. Yep, I throw a Rive. I love this thing. I mostly actually use this for forehands. If I want to throw a bit of distance on a forehand, and I should probably be throwing the Firebird or even the Eagle L. I haven't really worked on the Eagle L or the Halo Thunderbird for distance, because I don't really have much of a distance forehand. Mine is mostly approach forehands. That's really the only time you're going to get me see me throw a forehand for is that overstable approach, and maybe some tees where it's really, really short, and which is like an approach anyways, if it's under 200 feet. If I got a long forehand shot, this is what I'm going to throw. Most of the time, I will try to default to an understable disc like the Gorgon, but if I don't have the space, this is what I'm reaching for, and I will actually kind of throw this out and crash it down. But again, the Thunderbird does that job so much better for me. This is kind of a specialty disc. I don't throw it a lot, but it's there when I need it. Last but not least, the big bomber, my Westside Destiny. Again, it's a 14-speed disc. Say what you will about this thing. There isn't a disc I've ever thrown in my life that I can put out further than this. I can reliably get this close to 400 feet, and I've thrown this thing over 400 feet several times. There's nothing else I've ever had in my hand that I can get anywhere close to that. So say what you will, 14-speed, 6 glide, -2 with the 3 fade. Now that 3 fade is very important, because if I'm putting it out at the golf course, like for example, I'll use it up at the park in Courtenay, and I can put this out really, really hard. And if you've got a lot of space to play with, you can shape this thing beautifully, and it will hyzer flip up gorgeous for me. I just love this thing. That is the Westside Destiny. It's 172. What I have played with actually, and you'll see in this bag, sneak peek, because I'm going to do another video on this bag. I've got another Westside Destiny at 157 grams. So I've been kind of playing with that a bit. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, I wouldn't want to throw that in the wind, but this Westside Destiny works great for me. Well, there you go. That's my in the bag video. Time to get some water because my throat's getting a little parched. Enough time. It's a beautiful day here. I'm going to get around in, and put a comment below. Comments are great. If you can, comment on every video, even if it's just a, hey, thanks, that was great. Your sound was terrible. or what's that blurry spot in the corner? I'd like to do, towards the end of this month, I think I'll do another update. I did an April update last year. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with the channel and where it's going. Again, I'm going to do a review on that. I've got a whole stack of Craves that I'm hopefully going to go up to the field and throw right now, and try to get a video on that. But for now, that's the in the bag video. Thanks for joining me today. I'm curious, what's in your bag? What do you carry in each of these slots? So put some comments in there. Like and subscribe, hit the notify button, all that wonderful jazz that you hear from every disc golf YouTuber out there. And we'll see you next time very, very soon here on Greybeard Disc Golf.